This is a story called Nobody's Child. A little boy aged about 5 years old has been found wandering the streets alone in the dark one night. Nobody knows who he is, where he lives, or who his parents are. All they know is that he can't be left roaming the streets. The young couple who find him run their own children's home and they take him back and call the police. When the police arrive, they ask the couple if they would look after the little boy until his parents can be found. The couple agree and they ask the little boy his name, but he's clearly very scared and he refuses to speak. The couple, George and Danielle, decide that the best thing to do is to give him a bath, something to eat and to put him to bed. However, when Danielle baths him, she notices he has quite a lot of bruises. The next day, the police put out a nationwide plea via the newspapers and TV to try and find the little boy's parents. No one comes forward and George and Danielle keep hold of him. A few days later, the little boy tells Danielle that his name is Oliver Jameson and that he is 5 years old. Now that they have the little boy's name, the police hope that they can find his parents. After a few days, the police have heard nothing. No one who even knew him came forward. George said to the police, "He can't be nobody's child, surely he must have some parents somewhere." "That's what we're trying to find out," said one of the police officers. The police officer bent down to Oliver's level and asked him, "Oliver, who are your parents? Oliver, do you know your address?" Oliver just clammed up. Then the police officer asked him, "Oliver, would you like to tell me how you got those bruises?" "It's okay, Oliver, I won't hurt you," said the police officer. Again Oliver clammed up and refused to speak. The police continued to search for Oliver's parents and they urged anyone to come forward who knew Oliver, but no one did. By now he'd been nicknamed Nobody's Child. He continued to stay with Danielle and George, but the police desperately wanted anyone to come forward who knew him and his parents, but so far no one had. About 2 weeks later, a lady came forward saying that she'd seen Oliver outside on the street many times. Sometimes there was a little girl with him who looked about 7 years old. She said that she hadn't come forward because she was on holiday in Australia visiting her son. She also told the police that both kids were always filthy and that the little girl had very long hair that always looked dirty and full of marks. The lady gave the police Oliver's address. When they got to the house, what they discovered was disgusting and heartbreaking. The little girl who the lady had described was sat in a corner rocking and crying. Then they heard a baby cry, and when they went upstairs there was a newborn baby no more than a few days old lying in her cot, crying. Her bedding was filthy, and so was she. There was another little girl who was about 18 months old who was also filthy and crying. There was no sign of the parents and the police immediately took all of the kids into care. They left them with Danielle and George. They explained the situation to them and they couldn't believe how anyone could do that to a child. They were also covered in bruises. Danielle gave them all a bath and something to eat. It turned out that the 3 girls were called Ashley, Elizabeth and Erin. Ashley was 6 years old, Elizabeth was 16 months old, and the baby Erin was 4 days old. Once they'd bathed and fed the kids, they put them to bed, and Danielle broke down and cried and saying, "How could anyone do this to their own kids? How can anyone be so cruel?" "What will happen to the kids now?" asked Danielle, crying. The police officer said, "If it's okay with you and George, we'd like them to stay here with you until we can find their parents and make other arrangements." When the police found their mum, they couldn't believe what they saw. She was really well turned out and dressed very smartly. It turned out that the 3 older kids had been left with their auntie for 3 weeks, whilst their mum was away nursing their grandma. When she came back, there was no sign of the kids or their auntie. Their dad was away fighting the war in Afghanistan and he knew nothing about what had happened. The new baby Erin was the kids' cousin. The kids were very relieved and happy to see their mum Janet and they couldn't wait to go home with her. When their dad Paul was contacted, the army granted him leave so that he could return home. When he was shown photos of the kids and told what his sister had done to them, he broke down and cried, and so did Janet and Paul's parents when they were told. Their grandparents adored their kids and grandkids, and they couldn't believe that their own daughter could treat kids that way, especially her own child, baby Erin. When Eliza, the kid's auntie, was found, she was working as a prostitute and she didn't care what happened to her own baby or her nieces and nephew. The police couldn't understand why. She wasn't addicted to drugs or alcohol. She was arrested and sent to jail for child abandonment and neglect. The parent rights of baby Erin were terminated and baby Erin went home with Paul and Janet and their kids. Janet and Paul were given full custody of baby Erin and they applied to adopt her. The older kids were fine after their ordeal. The bruises on them were from Eliza hitting them really hard, over and over again. The family all went on with their lives. Paul left the army so he could be with his family. He'd served the time he'd signed up for and he was allowed to leave. Paul and Janet's application to adopt baby Erin was accepted and was finalised just after her first birthday. The 2 oldest kids, Oliver and Ashley, are both now in school and they are doing really well. The end. Thank you.